Hey there, strangers. It's time for another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we're going to be getting back into our coding. Today is Sunday, so today is my coding day where I'm going to be continuing my work on GGG using Unity and C#. Now, if you haven't been around the past couple of days, I've been kind of fighting off cold, so you'll have to kind of excuse the way I sound right at the moment. I'm not sure if I'm 100% right at the moment, but I mean we'll continue working on trying to do a coding and art stream while not talking. While mute is kind of difficult. I've tried it in the past and it never really worked very well, so, or at least, you know, I had to kind of go mute in the past before, so not exactly something that I really want to continue. So today we're going to be going to start kind of speaking up a little bit, so hopefully you'll join me as I continue my project here. Let's see. Give me a second while I get everything ready on my end. So, let's see, it's going okay. Now lately I haven't really been needing the Unity program up and running, but I figured I'll still kind of keep it going just in case I need to show off any, the past work, if anyone's kind of curious about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch it over to webcam only here. Here we go. Why is there no events to display? What's going on here? Normally my mini feed still shows off the previous follows and stuff like that. It keeps me informed as to if there's any like new followers or anything along those lines, but it's not showing anything right now. Odd. Okay. So everything is looks like it's up and running right at the moment, so let's go ahead and switch it over to live. Still okay. No. Normally you I go, I'm still okay. Well, what happens if my hand is burning up? What am I doing there, Jim? Stupid. That's not a good gauge. Who knows? I could be perfectly fine, or I could be sick as a dog. I don't really know. I think I'm fine. At least I think. All right. Let's see. Now, we're going to open up the human prototype. And we'll... So, here is my current human right at the moment. Can I scroll over? Okay, you're not working with me here. Okay, whatever. So, uh, last week, if you weren't here, um, we worked on the hunter body and various other additions to kind of um, add to the macho style of the hunter. Um, so you know, draw, getting the feet done, getting the arrows ready, drawing our little ammo belt with the arrows. um, we still need to work on the worker body, um, because I don't necessarily need them to be bare chested or anything along those lines, or at least give the impression that they're bare chested. Um, I mean, unless some guys and ladies want that. I mean, who's the one? Don't want to judge. So, um, but I mean, obviously, I don't have any like major details or anything like that. So, but I'm thinking I'll just kind of draw this as a uh, maybe have like a flannel. Well, not necessarily flannel, but um, put on some kind of shirt or something like that. Try to imitate it like a button-up shirt or something. I don't know. Still don't really know what I want to do with the construction worker right at the moment. So, the what I was planning on doing was working on the tools. Um, because if I want to, what I'd like to do, I mean, it may get to a point where I'm going to need to say, hey, I'm going to need to um, switch the tool down to a um, single tool um, for all the resources. But right now, I'd like to see if I can get, a specific tool for a specific resource. We'll see if I can actually do that. Um, so that means, I'm going to need like an axe, um, a pickaxe for probably both of these, and then like a bucket for that. Or at least that's where my mentality is right at the moment. Um, so um, then I'm gonna want to figure out what kind of weapons do I want to have for the different enemies. You know, what weapon should I use against the ghouls? What weapon should I use against ghosts? What weapon should I use against goblins? And they can be as silly as they can be, so um, I need to um, so like for example, right at the moment, I'm thinking of um, having the proton pack kind of thing from Ghostbusters for the ghost, as an idea. Obviously, I don't want to, you know, um, I don't want to take the actual you know, design of the proton pack. That's, um, but I figured, that would be a nice little, we can nod to, um, to franchise that I've enjoyed. Um, Here, let me, uh, um, let's see, let me try to bring up, so, trying to get the gun portion to be kind of separated from the backpack a little bit so I can kind of isolate it. So, okay, so similar to this in some regard, obviously. Obviously, I don't want to have like a direct rip-off of a proton pack directly. I don't necessarily want to do that because, um, because you know, that, I don't know. I don't want to, definitely don't want like the studio to come after me saying, yeah, you ripped off, the license of Ghostbusters or something like that. Yeah, no, I don't necessarily want that to happen. Um, but I figure maybe I can do, um, something kind of similar in style. Maybe, just have something that the humans like kind of carrying and just, you know, and make it even more silly, just have them go, "Bah," hit them with it like a club. Um, because well, um, I don't know whether or not I want to do projectiles for the hunters, or if they need to kind of go up to the individual themselves to try to kill them off. Not sure. Um, so, um, but I figured I can do, got the axe now, so that's good. We'll go ahead and focus on creating the pickaxe, and then we'll create a bucket. And should I make two different style of pickaxes for the different ores? Not sure. Um, I mean, whenever you think of pickaxe, there's um, different kind of looks to them. Like you can have them be, sharp on both ends. You could have, like the flat blade on one side. Well, I mean, obviously, typical pickaxe, has the flat blade. That's how, you know, the miners had. But I mean, you could design it in such a way where both ends have the pointed, if you really wanted to. Um, like this kind of graphic. Um, I could try to design it slightly differently. So like I have, kind of a flat blade kind of showing a little bit more too. So I would kind of have it standing out a little bit more, much like this. For the other pickaxe, I don't know which one to pick for which resource at the moment, but it really doesn't matter all that much. See that they're both ores, but mm. All right. But maybe I can do two separate styles for it. So okay. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and kind of create something similar to this, but this time we're going to be creating two separate blades here. So hmm. Okay, I want to give it enough room so that I can so I can manipulate it into the two different style of pickaxes. So okay, so I'm going to switch over to this, switch to that. Now we're going to select these two so that we can add see. Oh, I thought I could add. Oh wait, it's just selecting one node. Okay, there we go. There we go. So okay, so we have pretty much a flat edge going out to the curve here. Let's see. Now we're going to probably going to need to do a point between these two. Move this one. Oh. Can I move this at all? There you go. All right. So now I can just kind of Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another node in between here, just so we can kind of, oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to select these two. We're going to add a point there. We're going to move this across. And then we're going to move this one down. Hmm. That didn't work as well as I wanted it to. It's not really working out that much either. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. How close is that to this? I mean, it's not bad. Probably could be better. I mean, if I compare the two, I mean, it works. So, hmm. This portion needs to be extended out a little bit more. So, switch back over to this. Move this over. There we go. And now, I mean, it works. It's not the best, but it works. So let's see. The length seems a little it's a little much, but at the same time, I mean, when you compare it between these two, it's exceedingly long. I guess I can reduce down the size there, but I'm going to be having the exact same problem with the base again. See? Move these over again. I mean, in the, by the end of the day, it's not going to matter all that much because um, the player won't be like seeing this amount of detail or whatnot. But, well, I mean, they might. Who knows? I mean, they might be able to kind of snatch the image and, um, you know, zoom in on it super close if they really want to do that. So, or they could just kind of watch these streams and watch the development as it happens and see how much I'm trying to make it work. uh, Programmer doing RTA. Okay, let's see. I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. Um, I want to just make another copy of this, seeing that we're going to be trying to design another pickaxe. So, okay, so that will be good. We'll go ahead and group that up. So now we have two of the tools necessary for the resource gathering. So now we're going to go ahead and try to do the exact same thing like what we had here, but this time we're going to be trying to design, you know, the, the pick, the instead of the flat blade on one side, we're just going to do, um, the spikes on both ends. So, much, well, not really like that. Um, like this in a way. So, with that in mind, we're going to want to, we're going to take this, switch over to object path, and we're going to be, let's see, what we want to do is we're going to be adding 2 points here. Oh. Don't necessarily need 3. Get rid of that one. Okay, we're going to move this one closer here, that one closer there. Oh. Okay. Let's see, we want to create another point here. Okay, so now we're going to kind of create the curve here. Move this one straight up here, straight up here. Let's see, curve that one, curve down. Curve that, but this time we're going to curve it upwards. That's a little too much curve upwards. Okay, so here's the problem that I'm having with this right at this point. When I'm looking at this, there's differences on both sides, meaning that you know, this side here is not a mirror of this side over here, and that's a problem. So what I want to do is we're gonna go back to the drawing board here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play with this a little bit. So first off, I'm going to get rid of that. Going to get rid of this one. Move this one over. So what I'm going to do, or at least what I'm going to attempt to do, for anyone that's kind of curious, I'm going to draw 1/2 of the blade here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it, paste it, mirror it, and then join the two together. At least that's the plan. So first off, let's go ahead and move this over here so I have an idea as to how wide the base needs to be. See, right now I'm looking at this and I'm like going, okay, well, you know, if I'm going to be mirroring it, I need to have, you know, both sides of this kind of lining up. Now I'm sure that there's probably ways that I could maybe get this to kind of lock or snap, maybe. Um, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and leave it at that for now. Let's see what I want to do. Let's see. I don't want to be working on trying to get the blade, exactly right each and every single time. So, but I do want to have the length be okay too. So, all right. Now we're going to go ahead and readjust this, center it. Get this point to the edge again. Try to keep it straight. All right. Now, okay, so let's see, we're going to go ahead and curve that, but this time curve it in a little bit, raise it up some. Do the same with this. Keep with the upward angle, and then we're gonna kind of bring this down into a nice point. I don't wanna overlap it too much, otherwise I'm just gonna have something like that, and that's too ugly. That defeats the purpose of the pickaxe here. There's a slight upwards curve on this, a little bit more than what I'm expecting. Is more often than not, I see it curving down all the time. So I don't really see an upper, you know, um, I don't necessarily see it moving kind of up. So I need to adjust this a little bit more. Okay. So I mean, I guess that's good. It's not very large though. Guess that'll do. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and copy it. We're gonna paste it. And now we should be able to mirror it or flip it on its horizontal. There we go. Now we can move both of them together. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so we're doing this okay. I don't like the fact that there's like a little it's a little off here, so let me see if I can adjust this again. There we go. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come here, and then we're going to see about trying to, well, first off, we're going to save because we're coming along nicely on this. We're going to go ahead and select both of these. And now we're going to go ahead and merge the two. I was kind of hoping that I would get rid of this section right here. Okay. What I want to do is I want to get rid of all the I don't need that line in there. Okay. Why does it look off? Dude. What? We're just going to go ahead and group these in. There. So now, we'll move this down here. we have ourselves a pickaxe. Why does it look like there's more of like a curve here than there is a curve here? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? I mean, it looks like there's more of a hook here than there is here, but I don't know. Alright. This probably has to do with the adjustments that I made down here. So let's try fixing this again. There we go. And then, right, we have a little bit of a problem there. Okay, there we go. That should be good. No, it should be, but it's not. Ah! My OCD is kind of kicking in, I guess. Not that I really have OCD per se, but at least never been actually diagnosed with me, but oh yeah, that looks good. All right. So now we're going to take this, we're going to copy it, paste, flip horizontal. Now we're going to come on down here. See, it just kind of looks off a little bit. I don't know. My eyes are kind of playing tricks on me, I'm sure. Yeah. Guess it's good. Okay. Okay, so with both of these put into place, the edges aren't really lining up very well right now. That's a problem. so what I want to do, come down here, we're going to okay, let's see. What I want to do is I want to add another point in here. Okay. Is it not creating another point? Hmm. Okay, not what I want. What is going on here? Trying to keep the curve here. Hmm. Yeah, what the why is the angle off? Or why is it trying to change the angle on me? Okay, that's better. Okay, so the reason why I'm kind of doing this a little bit is I want to when I duplicate this, when I overlap these, I want to be able to have the top and the bottom kind of match up with each other, and I won't have to kind of adjust too terribly on it. So here's what I mean here. So now we have this, right? What the heck is going on there? Okay. What's going on here? What the Okay, so something about this is really kind of breaking this angle here, and that's a problem. Rather it not go in the vertical direction here. Don't know how to adjust it though to get this kind of restored back to the way it was. Okay. And there's a slight like little divot here, but it's too small to really, I mean, too small to really notice, if, especially if you go out super far. So, probably because of all the manipulation with the nodes there that, kind of caused whatever this little divot is. But it does the job that we need it to do. So I don't really see any other issues per se around here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to attempt once again to take this, copy it, paste it, and rotate it or flip it. Now we're going to take this, move it down here, so we have a little bit of a I gotta be careful here because I want to make sure that I'm getting it kind of lined up correctly and not cause any like too much sharp edges going on. Because like right here, for example, is kind of not what I want to see. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take both of these and we're going to union them together. There we go. So now, ta-da! So now we should have ourselves a pickaxe. There we go. So now we have our 3 tools for our 3 different resources: the forest, sun, and mithril. And now we need one for the water. So we're going to go ahead and now one could I could open the the holy pool art, for example, and use that for as kind of a you know as some, I could try to use this maybe for a pail equivalent, you know, just kind of design this in such a way where, you know, um, I put like a little bar on top or something like that, scale it down so that it will just, um, um, I'll have an image of a pail for the most part. Um, but um, this um, this kind of has a little bit of a problem in that I don't necessarily want the tool themselves kneeling to um, I don't want them having to kind of have animation in the bucket. Um, I mean, when you're when you're you know using a bucket of some kind, you know, like here let me like if you're using a bucket of some kind, taking water, um, typically it's pretty much full for the most part. Now, I could have these workers kind of picking up, multiple sets or multiple buckets of water to kind of pull it up to the point of being completely full, or it could be going into another bag or something like that. But the point is that I don't necessarily want to show like different levels of water in the bucket because that doesn't really make any sense. Okay. Um, you're when you put the bucket down in the water, um, you're not going to be able to kind of put it back down in the water and have more water full. Okay, it's I mean, you have to change up the angle of the bucket or whatnot to try to get more water into it. But I mean, if you're not doing it the first time, why are you even bothering? Um, so it's not like chopping down a tree. You're not incrementing the um, how much wood you've kind of chopped at that point. It's a one or nothing kind of deal when it comes to water. So I don't necessarily want to have the um, I don't necessarily want to be dealing with the different water levels. So I'm not going to bother with this. Now, here's the thing that I just kind of noticed, and um, this can be problematic. But this white gap here, showing where the water is going to kind of be filling up into. Um, is this? Yeah, there's nothing there. So let's see. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem there. Um, at first, I was thinking maybe it's just like um, a white circle in there that I can just kind of work on, manipulate, whatnot. But there's nothing in that center right at the moment. So um, that if if I was to place this on the map, then this portion right here is going to show the background. That's not a well then. um, so I'm going to have to go back to this and fix this. So close without saving. So I need to fix those wells because I needed to have that wall on the other side. I developed the wall facing us, but I don't have the back wall. and that's a problem. So, okay, so we're going to need to create ourselves a bucket, which means we're going to need to once again have a trapezoid for the most part. So, let's see. Just lighten it up a little bit. Going to create a other node in the center here. Actually, I probably want to do another manipulate it in such a fashion. Same with the well, using an ellipse instead of trying to manipulate the the curve here. Yeah, to try to imitate a slight curve. Don't really need to worry about that. So there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to go ahead and create a very thin stroke. Is it even drawn in lines at all? And that is a very thin stroke. Okay, let's maybe bump it up a little bit more. There we go. Let's see, let's go ahead and okay, now we're going to go ahead and create our little bit of kind of lip to this. Okay, now what I want to do is can I right let's see. X Let's see. So now we're going to change this into, see, this is 94, so we're going to do 4 spaces away. This is 4 spaces away, so this is 86. Maybe 3 spaces away. There we go. Okay. I wanted to have a proper angle for what looks like the bucket here. And allow for a little bit more try to center this a little bit. Actually, hold on. Let's make this easy on ourselves, shall we? There we go. Now, there we go. Okay. So now we have a little bit of a, now we have, the bucket. So, here, what I want to do a little bit is create a little bit of a curve down below here. But in order to do that, I need to select these two, add a node, and then we're going to go ahead and curve that. So now, I'm just going to make a little bit of a bulge there. Not much, just enough. Just to kind of make it look like it's also curving. Okay, now, do I give this a handle? I don't think so. When you're zoomed out pretty far, it's going to be kind of hard for you to actually see, like a handle. I mean, it'd have to be a really, really big or really thick handle for it to be really seen as the person kind of carrying it. Like if I was to put like a little, semicircle ring here to the top, and I have their hand trying to hold that said ring,
it's, as you kind of zoom out a little bit further, it's going to look like um, the uh, that they're not really grabbing anything, that they're just kind of swinging, and the pails just kind of be swinging or whatnot. So um, so um, that's not exactly ideal. So I think for the most part, I'm good. I don't really need um, I don't need to work on this that much. I mean, I could try to maybe add some like what is it called? I think it's called like gradient or something like that to simulate some kind of shadow effects. Make the inside look darker or or the like. I could kind of select this and go okay. For the fill, um, I want to have some kind of gradient. Um, for the most part, I don't know what I'm doing here. Um, as it is anyway, I'm not quite sure how to angle this in such a way where I can have, um, just this is fine for the most part, but this area here is super light, and I don't really like that amount of, whoops. Um, I want it to be darker up there, but I'm not quite sure how to go about doing that if I really cared about it, which I really don't, not right at the moment. So I'd rather just kind of not deal with it for now. Um, that's like extra kind of art content that I don't really need, to be honest, right now. Um, I just want to be able to kind of get this done and move on to the animation and the like. Now, would I love to kind of see, some kind of little added details and stuff like that? Sure, of course. What, um, who wouldn't want to have, some little added detail um, to their art assets? Okay. But at the end of the day, I want to get this out, and I could spend hours upon hours upon hours just trying to add small little added details into each little nook and cranny to kind of make it look authentic. But that's not my purpose in doing this art right at the moment. Okay. I could try to make it look as authentic as I possibly can, but it's going to take me longer overall than it would take me to um, hire someone to do it for me. Okay. Um, and even then, like I've said before, I don't have the cash to hire someone. So this is just gonna have to be just the way it is right now. So I don't wanna, I don't necessarily want to worry about this anymore. So So we're going to go ahead and move this back over here with the rest of the tools. And now we got ourselves our 4 different tools for each resource. Uh, Now, I could... Let's see. So here's my thinking. You're probably wondering a little bit of what I'm looking at here. Well, my idea right at this moment in time is I want these to kind of stand out quite a bit. So so that the player understands, if one of their construction workers has one of these tools, they're going to understand that this is going to be um, this particular tool is going to be used for this particular resource. I mean, granted, they should be able to kind of see that with the resource itself, but if I do want the worker to kind of be walking along with these tools in hand. So if this so if the player sees them with a particular tool in hand, they're going to be like going, oh, okay, this guy's going after some sunstone, or this guy's going to be going after some forest or whatnot. Okay. I want it to be visually able to kind of pick it out almost instantaneously. So color does that. Okay. You change the color around and you should be able to kind of show the um, you're changing up um, what the um, you're changing up the recognition a little bit when you're changing the color. You're changing, you know, um, that this is kind of be standing out a little bit more because you have it like a different color to it. So so I was thinking, well, I have sunstones and I have mithril ore. Well, why don't we have the pickaxe for the sunstones be with the yellow of the sunstones, meaning that this is going to be used to mine the sunstones, and there you go. Okay, so um, just so there's no confusion between these two. So um, I could try to maybe try to color code these a little bit more themselves to make them stand out a little bit more, but I think these are fine. I mean, you're not going to be having any confusion as to whether or not there's an axe here and a pickaxe there. Reconnecting. Am I... Did I lose my internet connection again? Okay, that was interesting. Hmm. Okay. Now there it goes again. That's pretty odd. All right. Well, so I just so anyone's kind of curious, I have my Streamlabs up, but I also have um, the stream going on my phone so that I can kind of keep track of when there's a problem, when there's a lag. So um, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. All right. But let's go ahead and get back into this here. Um, okay, so now that our tools are done, um, we have the we have a couple processes that we still need to work on. Okay, so we need to create the arms for the humans. Uh, we need to create the weapons, and then we need to finish construction. So we still need to kind of work on these um, for the rest here. Now, I made the joke last week about I don't necessarily want big beefy arms. Um, you know, I'm I refer to the old um, uh, the old cartoon here. You know, don't necessarily need to draw something along these lines. Um, so I'm gonna need to um, I mean, I could for the soldier draw something or try to draw something similar to this, but uh, I wanted to um, uh, I want to have the arms be reusable for both, the hunter and the construction worker. So, not to say that um, folks in the blue collar work don't have big burly arms either, but um, the problem that I'm having gonna have with this is that if I was to kind of take this arm and put it on this particular figure, it could um, uh, it might like obscure too much. So um, I want something to be a little bit less defined. So. Um, let's see. So I'm basically gonna try to design, the construction worker similar to kind of like this here. You know, not necessarily too much the tool belt, obviously. Um, but blue jeans, you know, um, some kind of shirt to it, um, and that's about it. Um, I mean, would it be nice to actually have all these small little details to it? Sure. I mean, um, it would be fantastic if you see the construction worker here with all four tools somewhere on their person or whatnot, and a backpack that shows the resources that they've already collected and so on and so forth and blah blah blah. But again, let's I'm not I don't want to go too much into too much detail here. Okay. Um, I'm trying to keep it simple for myself. you know, um, if anyone has ever done any kind of programming work or or just work in general, you've heard of the KISS method, KISS, or keep it simple, stupid. So um, that's the purpose of this. I'm trying to keep it simple, so I'm not causing myself hardship later. So, um, okay, um, so let's see. I want to create something. Um, I want to be able to create hands and arms for this individual before I go too far into this. Meaning, I want to create some hands that can kind of go around these handles and then figure out how to design the weapons around the hands, or at least that's the idea. Um, maybe. Um, what do I want to work on first? Arms or weapons? I'll worry about um, I'll worry about the construction worker after the shirt for the construction worker afterwards. I mean, hell, if I really wanted to, I could just oh oh no. I could just kind of do that and kind of be done with it, but that didn't really work out very much now, did it? That didn't really work out either. Let's see. Ungroup. There we go. Let's go ahead and there we go. I mean, I could just do that for the most part, you know, and just have it look like, you know, just shirt and blue jeans or something like that. I could do that. Just kind of leave it at that. But I should probably add like some more details in it or something like that. Like here, what I'm going to do is take this, move it down here. We're going to change the stroke color to black. Oh, no. Stroke color. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it around again. We're going to make it thinner. And now we're going to have, you know, a pocket. And now what we're going to do now is we're going to draw kind of another you know, a can I draw a box here so that we're going to have let's go ahead and increase the stroke by a little bit more. There we go. Let's see. But it's not really, I don't want it centered here. I want it over to the side a bit. Oh, nope. Oh, come on. What the heck? Move that, please. Thank you. All right. Now, that should be pretty good. We'll have the head like right over that. We'll have the pocket over the side. See, there we go. All done with the construction worker. Now, I could, like I said, try to make this look like a, make it look similar to like a lumberjack or something along those lines. We can just kind of say, hey, um, with its, with their, um, and with the style of shirt, the plaid. We could try to design that here, but again, a lot of detail that isn't really necessary. Plus, at the same time, I don't necessarily want it. I don't necessarily want the image of a lumberjack to be used for every single last job. Maybe. I don't know. Um, so this will do. That will do. Okay, so now we're going to focus on um, let's kind of work on our uh, hmm, I just remembered, not only is there resource gathering, but there's also actual construction, the barriers. Maybe I should have a hammer for construction a little bit. Hmm. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. So I'm gonna ungroup this real quick. Grab this, copy, paste, and we're gonna group them back up again. There we go. And now we're going to create our hammer. Um, let's see. Do I want to have this kind of an image? Or do I want to have something that has this kind of an image to it? Well, okay. Here's the um, I don't want this being thought of as a weapon of any kind. I want it to be kind of thought of as a tool. You know, when a person sees something like this, they might think, "Oh, well, this person might be able to kind of wield this as a weapon as well." There's been games, people using sledges and the like um, to use as a weapon. Not to say that this can't be a weapon, It's just typically, whenever you see a hammer, you know, you think Thor, kind of hammer. Okay. Um, and I don't necessarily want to give that impression. Um, it's meant to be more tool than weapon. Um, Second problem that I have is if I just kind of draw a box, you know, that's gonna be like, hey, there you go, hammer. There's nothing kind of defining it or anything along those lines. There's nothing that um, makes it stand out. I mean, they're gonna kind of think of this as kind of a sledge, and that's about it, and not the they might think of it as some kind of civilian weapon or something like that, and I don't necessarily want to give them that impression. So, and it'd be great if I could, figure out how to kind of use the gradient in order to make it more look like a sledge, but I don't really have the expertise on that, and I don't really want to go into that amount of detail right at the moment. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something similar to this with the claw hammer. So, at least that's the intention. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit more. Now we're going to make, the let's see, first off, let's go ahead and get the size of this correct. And it's about good. Maybe a little bit shorter. All right. So next I want to center these. So there we go. Okay, now what I want to do is try to imitate this here a little bit. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating multiple different points on this. So first off, we're going to be taking this, switching this over. Then we're going to be adding in points here for the base. Then I want a point here as it kind of edges up to that point. So this point to that point is going to be that edge right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another point here so that I can go from this point here to this point, which is going to be up there. So I'm going to be basically taking this and moving it up so that I can kind of create that curve. So we're going to go ahead and make that point there and that point there to have, the top portion of this kind of line up a little bit, so I have that kind of flat top. But this point right here, actually, I want to have it over here a little bit so that I can kind of create that a little bit of edge here, which probably means I need to actually have a little point there to kind of create that edge. Then we're going to be moving over here a little bit more to kind of create the head of the hammer. And that should be good. So first off, we're going to go ahead and create our angled head there, angle that down there, make this as flat as we can. Now we're going to go ahead and make this curved. Same with this. Okay, we're going to take this, move that up there. Try to make it as straight as possibly can. Make this into a curve. We're going to kind of angle it a little bit so that we can What do you folks think? Do we have ourselves a hammer? It looks like a hammer enough. So now I'm going to go ahead and move this on top. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move it down enough so that it's shorter than the rest. So group that, and now there we go. We got ourselves our hammer. That works. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our weapons. I want to try to focus on the weapons a little bit more because when I'm gonna be designing the arms and hands, that's gonna kind of take into consideration, how large the hands need to be and the like in order to make it kind of proportional to the tools and the weapons and the like. So I don't have like super huge hands or something like that. I want the weapons to be something that I can um, that has the same kind of scaling to them, much like the tools. So, but I want kind of unique. I kind of want unique weapons for each type. Like the proton pack for the ghost and the like. Now, I want this to be ridiculous, so I'm not going to create a bow for these arrows. Okay, they're all going to be fairly the weapons are going to be kind of melee based anyway. Okay. Um, so, um, I figure it'd be a nice laughable touch having this guy, with these, full on ammo belts and the like, and he doesn't have a gun. You know, thinking, um, what is it? It's an older movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's just so ridiculous. Um, yeah, here we go. So, um, so basically, here's your here's one of the more famous scenes, I guess you might say, where if it's been such a long time since I've watched this movie. It was I think he was trying to save the girl, damsel in distress kind of situation. Um, and or maybe it was a memory of him being in a war or something. I don't remember. It, like I said, it's been years since I've seen this. Um, but there was one part where he grabbed a chicken that was in the village and he shot it like a bow and arrow. Okay, that's what I mean by pure ridiculousness of this. I don't want him. I don't want to be all um, um, you know instead of the machine gun with the ammo belt kind of thing. I just want to have him with look like Conan the Barbarian kind of thing with the ammo belt. Let's see. Uh, so think Conan the Barbarian with a couple ammo belts, carrying a sword. That's how I'm um, kind of picturing the my human hunter a little bit. You know, just make it off the wall. So, but what we want to do is we want to figure out what the other two weapons I want to use are. Um, so I want to do something similar to a proton pack for the ghosts. That's fine. That's good. Okay. But I mean, there's two other monsters here, the ghouls and the goblins. So I need to figure out what I want to do for both of them. Um, I need to be a little creative here as to what I want to show or what I want to. Hmm. No, I don't necessarily need Tokyo Ghoul, thank you. Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. Final Fantasy VII remakes. Witcher. Hmm. I'm 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 thinking of an idea, but I don't know how to really go about. Um, I need to kind of be careful here because I don't necessarily want people kind of coming after me going, "Oh, you're anti-Christian" or something like that. It's like, I don't want to. I don't want to have problems along those lines. I say that just so you're not like wondering what the heck I'm thinking about. So ghouls are typically, undead, created by black magics or whatnot, necromancy, so on and so forth. Okay. Um, Typically, one of the tools that you want to use in order to fight said um, creations is something along the lines of a holy object of some sort. Okay. A cross, holy water, so on and so forth to kind of combat, said monstrosities. Typically, I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Okay. I just suddenly thought, well, maybe instead of, an actual honest gosh weapon like a sword or a bow and arrow or, a mace, what have you. I was thinking maybe I could do something like a book. Now, I got to be careful here, okay? Because I don't want to be doing something along the lines of, hey, let's go ahead and create ourselves, you know, a cross on said book, for example. Um, and get folks in the Christian side of the um, faith, getting upset at me because I'm using I'm this isn't it's not exactly great, to be using a book that is um, has a connotation to our religions currently here on Earth. I don't necessarily want to cause any kind of problems along those lines. So I need to rethink this a little bit. So maybe instead of having a symbol that is fairly recognizable, I should do something that's kind of generic. So first off, let's go ahead and kind of create this looking like a leather bound book. And then maybe can I actually put some words in here? Now, how do I make no, that didn't really do anything. Okay, how font size? Hmm. Okay, I'm not familiar with um, Inkscape and text, so let's go ahead and um, Okay, so there's a text tool. Ah, of course. Silly me, what am I doing? So there we go. If I do this, take that. Oh, oh, oh. Come on. Don't do this to me right at the moment. Okay. I want it to kind of look a little bit more like a book. Um, let's see. First off, let's see. Can I? That didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Um, no, that doesn't really work all that much. I was trying to see if there's a way that I can um, maybe I can have the words being displayed the same way, but I can have the book itself kind of change based off of its um, which way it's kind of facing. So here, let me remove that for now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try to um, make a um, make something that kind of looks more like a 3D book than what we're doing here, so that kind of stands out that hey, this is a book, you know. Um, Now, how question is how thick do I want it to, and do I want it to be here? Do I want it to be? Yeah, let's take this real quick, copy that, we're gonna paste it again because we want similar dimensions here, so we're gonna move that back there. Then we want we want to be able to kind of draw a we want to have like the leather bound kind of backing on this as well. Um, so we're going to take this, we're going to copy it again. Let's see. I'm going to shift it a little bit so that we can kind of create that illusion that we're going to have that backdrop here a little bit. Okay, so oh, not really getting the size that I need here. All right. Now what we're gonna do now, we've gotten ourselves the um, the back cover, the leather bound um, spine of the book. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this a little bit. We're going to change this so that when we're going to take this point here and that point there, we're going to add another point in the middle there, and then we're going to take that and curve it. So now we can kind of make it a little bit more of a rounded book. now it gets to be a little bit more problematic because now we want to actually put some pages in it, and that starts getting to be a little harder because now we're going to be kind of taking. I take this here real quick. We're going to change the color here to white. Actually, we're going to bring this in a little bit more. Let's see, hold on. I don't want the curve to it anymore. What I do want to do though is we're going to take this, we're going to move it back slightly so we have a little bit of a so we give the impression that the paper is behind the front cover here, but slightly in front of, still ahead in front of the back cover. We're going to go ahead and angle this here a little bit so that we have, okay, stop giving me that one. I want the curve to kind of look okay to it. Now, so this might look fine for the most part, but it might not be like ideal. Let me edge this up a little bit. There we go. I think that looks fine. Okay, so here's the thing with this. This, while it might be fine for the most part, it doesn't really convey pages per se on it. So I need to figure out how I can give the impression that this particular object here is I want to stripe it somehow, and I'm not quite sure how to go about doing that. So let me see if there's something quick and easy that I can do through Inkscape that let me try to zebra. I don't know if I'm spelling striping correctly. Um, Maybe I'm just misspelling stripe. Hey there, Otiv. How you doing there, bud? Oh, it's going, man. I'm working on art assets right at the moment. Um, the uh, the free art assets that I had was good for the short period of time, but now I'm getting to the point of um, I want to start animating, and the art assets that I have aren't capable of handling that, or at least they don't have any. Um, they don't have their own individual animations to themselves at this point. So I've decided to. Well, I can't afford paying anyone right at the moment for artwork right at the moment. So I'm creating my own art assets. It's a little bit cringe, but I mean I'm doing the best I can. I'm definitely not an artist, so um, I'm trying to make it look as comedic as I possibly can, but at the same time doing what I can to make it unique. So or unique-ish. I'm just kind of messing up on the plural of stripe right at the moment, I believe. So yeah, no, I'm getting it correct. Okay, silly me. Um, so I it's I think it's been a while since you've been here last, I believe. So I downloaded Inkscape because I wanted to create um, from 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 what I know, with being a while. Hey there, Mono Twitch. How you doing there, bud? Welcome back to the stream. Um, uh, I was trying to figure out what the best course of action would be to try to create the art assets in Unity. Now, I could stick with the um, with pixel-based art, but trying to create the art assets myself using pixel-based might take forever, and I don't want to spend years of my time just trying to get everything pixelated just perfectly. So I decided to kind of go with vector-based um, art um, and see if Unity can kind of work with that, which apparently it can. So I'm trying to see if that will work out to my advantage. So right now, um, uh, I'd say pixel base is easier to keep consistent. With some good tools, you'll be equally fast as with Inkscape. Yeah, true, true. Um, the one of the other reasons why I want to be able to, one of the reasons why I'm kind of I was leaning towards vector is that with pixel based, as you zooming closer and closer to the art assets, the pixels become more and more pronounced. And I don't necessarily want that to happen because uh, the the player will be able to kind of zoom in and out from the map. Not like super close in, but just enough to kind of see um, see a hexagon or and the surrounding hexagons around it. So it's gonna allow for it to be fairly close. And with pixels, it's gonna be very pronounced. I would have to really go nitty gritty on some of the pixels, and I didn't really want to worry about that too much. So vector based is a little bit better when it comes to that because the engine itself will kind of work on the the scaling and kind of be able to still make it fairly smooth, or at least that's the intention. That's the intention. So right now, I'm currently working on the human art assets. Eventually, I'll need to switch over and create the ghouls, the ghosts, and the goblins. But right now, I'm working on humans, working on the, um, you know, working on how the look of the human construction types are going to be looking like and how they look as a hunter. And right now I'm working on the weapons of it. And eventually I need to work on what their arms are going to look like. Everything else is pretty much done for the most part. Now, uh, you haven't seen these in a while, so let me show you what I have so far. Um, just bear in mind, it's gonna be looking cringe. So here you go. There's my hunter. So, um, at, at least uh, that's that's good enough. So, um, the idea is I want during the idle to have their eyes kind of circling around each other. So as it kind of bobs while idling, their eyeballs just kind of circle around each other. Um, I'm having the ammo belt full of arrows that will not be used whatsoever. And then, of course, I have the construction worker body with their appropriate tools that they're going to be using for resource gathering, or at least that's the intention. So, uh, so I'm trying to figure out what the best weapons are going to be for the the monsters in question. Um, I have the uh, for the monsters, I have the ghouls, ghosts, and goblins. So for the ghosts, I'm thinking about doing something very similar to the proton pack from Ghostbusters, but obviously I need to change that up a little bit so I'm not ripping off directly from Ghostbusters, but I figure, grabs, something similar to the gun portion of the proton pack, change it up a little bit, maybe add some kind of extra designs to it somehow. Um, and then we'll just have the hunter kind of use it as a melee weapon. Um, Now, what I'm what I'm doing right now is trying to work. I want to kind of hold off on that for now because I think the whole gun melee weapon would probably be fairly difficult to um, uniquely create for the time being. So um, yeah, for the most part, I mean it's I mean I don't have Office, and I can't pay the monthly um, subscription for Microsoft Office. So Notepad plus plus is the next best thing. So um, I mean, I could use what is it? Gosh, what was it called? It's like Microsoft Office, but it's Linux based, um, free to use style word processor. But I didn't want to. I don't want to download, you know, word processor when a text based, um, text based works just as well. LibreOffice, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So it's free, I know, but I don't really need it, to be honest. I just need it. Uh, I'm not making a document to be sent out to other development studios. Okay, if I wanted to do something like that, then oh yeah, I would definitely need a word processor um, to change up the look. Be able to write a fair amount of documentation. Have the um, uh, have the bullet points and so on and so forth. Um, I just it's not really that necessary at the moment. So Notepad works at least for now. So uh, okay. So the I'm currently working on thought line for the ghouls. Um, you know what what is a ghoul? What consists of fighting the ghoul? What I can use to um, what uh, just trying to figure out um, what I could have for a fighting weapon against ghouls, and also kind of make it silly and um, a little crazy here, a little off. So um, so I was thinking maybe I can just kind of create, some kind of like holy book that the warrior can just kind of hit the ghouls with. You know, just take a book and just slap the crap out of the ghouls. Um, but I also wanted to make sure that I didn't like offend any kind of like religious based or anything along those lines. Okay, so I'm making it as generic as I possibly can. So, um, So that was the idea. I don't know if it works out or not, but I figure um, I figure it's silly enough, along the same lines of the proton pack being used as a melee weapon. Um, uh, recommend you check out Notion. Is Notion the name um, of the software that you're talking about there, Otiv? Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll check it out a little bit later, but for now, I'm happy with what Notepad is. So I'll check it out. Um, so no worries, no worries. Um, so I don't know whether or not I want to stick with this or not. Um, I don't know if I want to use that as, kind of a weapon based. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to kind of, um, if it's going to look good, in animation. I'm not sure, but I can at least see about trying this out. So, um, and then of course there's the last monster, which is um, the goblins. Um, I'm not sure what I want to use for weapon for that. Typically, whenever you do something kind of fantasy based, you always think of the standard, you know, swords, maces, and so on and so forth. I don't want to fall back in that kind of trope. I want, um, you know, the, I want to make it kind of, I want the art style to kind of, um, to have that kind of silliness to it because I don't, um, I'm trying to make the game as universal as I possibly can. Something that hit and that can hit all the ages. Okay, um, it's kind of meant for everybody, or at least teen and up. Okay, so I'm not going full like horror based or anything along those lines. Okay, um, the the I'm as I've kind of mentioned in previous streams, I want the art style to kind of have a similar Plants vs. Zombie feel to it. Um, Obviously not a direct ripoff from it, but I still want to have that kind of cartoonish look to to everything. So I'm trying to uh, kind of ramp up the silliness a little bit. Um, but I don't know what kind of weapon that I can do um, for a goblin. I'm not sure. So, hmm. Classic mace. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to stay away from the classical weapons. Um, I mean, like I said, I could have the hunter have a sword or a knife or something like that, but um, hmm, but how do I? What what can I use for a weapon that's just a little off? Hmm. Trying to look for some inspiration. No worries there, Otiv. You have yourself a good night. Thanks for stopping on by again. Hopefully I'll see you next time. So, catch you then. Hmm. I'm looking for a little bit of inspiration, something that kind of stands out. Like I said, swords don't really want. Hmm. What do I want to do? Hmm. Oh no. Oh no. I think I've just found something that it would be completely silly if I was able to do it. You see what I see right here? That would be pretty hilarious if you suddenly show up um, with, you know, a, with a spork the size of, regular tool and using it as, like a mace or something along those lines. But does that work though? I'm trying to kind of keep it, try to, uh, does that work though? I don't know. The um, problem with goblins is that you don't have any kind of, I'm trying to think of any like unique characteristics to a goblin to kind of counter it. Like, you know, Ghostbusters, proton pack kind of thing. The ghouls that are undead have a holy symbol or holy object to counter them. I'm not. I don't really have anything in my mind right at the moment for a goblin, though. Um, Nothing that kind of sticks out to me as to um, what uh, everything that I kind of um, know about goblins is like, you typically just kind of fight them with, standard like weapons and the like. Um, there's nothing. Um, you don't really have um, too much of a um, there's not like a unique feature to goblins typically. Um, so I'm trying to figure if there's something that I can kind of use to um, that's a little bit different here. Hmm. I mean, they're small for the most part and um, pretty fast overall. Hmm. But how do I kind of poke fun at that? How can I make that kind of stand out a little bit so that the weapon itself um, kind of goes against that trait? I mean, the don't get me wrong, um, a spork or a frying pan, it's all kind of um, you know uh, melee weapons that are kind of silly in themselves, but can you directly relate them to a goblin? Hmm, I don't know. I don't know if you can. That's the problem that I'm having right now. So yeah, sure. Let's use the Halo blade. No, no, I'd probably get sued up one side and down the other for that one. So let's not do that. I mean, I could try maybe just using a shield, but that doesn't really. Again, that doesn't really apply to goblins either. Guitar. I mean, I don't really know if goblins are kind of have a difficult time to music. Hmm. Oh, that doesn't really help me now, does it? Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Let's see. How do I want to fight these guys off? turn away from. I found it difficult to overcome this short fuse. A sense of greed that made it difficult for them to act. Come short term. Um, hmm. So. And there's nothing here. Okay, so they're not like they don't really care one way or another about like music or anything along those lines. So while having a guitar as a melee weapon would be an interesting look, um, once again, it doesn't really match with a counter um, to what we're kind of going with. So now this one is talking about how they're like, often stinky and soiled. Each time I keep on seeing that, I'm thinking maybe I could do something like like a bleach bottle or something along those lines. But I'm not 100% sure if I really want to go with that route. Um, as it is anyway, trying to actually create a bottle um, is going to be kind of difficult to draw via art. And I don't necessarily want to worry about that too much. Or you know, it might be one thing to kind of swing a book around, but it might be another thing to try to have like a handle with like on a milk jug of like bleach or something. That seems that would seem to be quite extensive art wise to try to work that out. So um, so I don't know if I really want to go to that length on that. Um, see. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Just trying to look for some kind of inspiration here, something that kind of stands out to me, something that kind of, can snap that, you know, um, I'm looking for that last little bit of, oh yeah, let's go with that kind of inspiration. Um, so far though, I haven't really seen much that really kind of stands out. Well, here's something that kind of shows the maybe using um, a little kitchen pot. Hmm. And that's it. Just so I don't think of something else there. Okay, let's see. Um, Doing horses, banging pots and pans, removing clothes from sleeping humans, knocking down doors and walls, and even digging up the graves of scattered bones around. Bar- Borrowed horses, ran them all night. If horses tired in the morning, it said the crowd rode it. If horses panicking, the goblin was trying to mount it. Steal human babies, replacing them with ugly goblin babies, sometimes known as oafs or cribbles. Cribbles. I guess stones and presence of rich. I used to fold them. Companion. There's pasty. Okay, well, that doesn't really work either. um, Goblin smile curdles blood. Goblin laugh sours milk and causes fruit to fall from trees. And a goblin scream kills mice. Interesting. Okay. Um, so I'm kind of thinking maybe using the um, kitchen frying pan to use against these guys. I mean, it's weird, it's silly, and it kind of works against their lore for the most part. You know, just basically like this. Um, yeah, because I'm not quite sure of anything else that I can really use or say or do on this. That looks like a feather. um, yeah, I don't really see much else for inspiration right at the moment. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think frying pan will have to do. Don't know of any other kind of. I could try to like, you know, um, yeah, I don't think guitar is gonna work. Bleach bottle is gonna get a little difficult. I mean, I'm already kind of worried about the holy book right in this holy book right at this moment in time because of the text in it. Because I mean, as you back away from it, you're not going to be kind of able to see the words. I mean, you might be able to do when you kind of zoom in closer to it, um, but I don't. I mean, Bleach is going to be longer, and it's going to be smaller text, and I mean, unless this person's pulling out of like big old giant ass bottle of bleach and slams it down on them. Um, but I don't necessarily want to draw like squishing animation or anything like that for the goblins just for that. Um, or at least that's I don't necessarily need to. I mean maybe in version 2 later down the line maybe I'll go that route. Um, um, go full on bleach bottle or a huge giant bleach bottle to crush goblins, maybe. Um, but I think um, I'm gonna say no to that for now. Um, Here, you know what? Let me go ahead and write this stuff down though. Um, okay, I'm gonna write this stuff down. Um, um, this was one of my ideas, seeing that ghouls were using um, the holy was it the holy water for the ghouls, or was I using the? No, I think I was using the sunstones for the ghouls. Well, either way. Um, Maybe instead of that, then we can move that down to the ghosts. We can then maybe do flashlights. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Ghosts, 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 ghosts. What can I do? It's kind of silly for ghosts. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't want to overthink it too much. So, um, so frying pan, um, spork, um, each bottle. Okay. So I'm kind of leaning towards either frying pan or a spork. So thing is that both have been used as weapons in the past. So um, just not as often. Um, I mean you've seen multiple games with the frying pan being used. Um, you see that in multiple different kind of games. Um, one of the um, one of the games that I like kind of first saw it in, which was pretty hilarious back in the day, um, was the um, was the video game Medieval. Now, um, the townsfolk lady with frying pan. There was, in the town where in the game you had these ghouls or souls or whatnot. They would just kind of chase you down, and if they got close to you, you get hit by the um, you know, it's just super hilarious seeing the seeing it, and they added in the sound effects into it. Um, don't know if let me see if I can find like a scene for it. I'm coming close to where I'm gonna be shutting down the stream here, folks. Let me go ahead and try. I mean, you can see them, but oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. Let me uh unmute it here, so you guys can kind of hear it. Oh, you can't hear it because my properties isn't working right at the moment. Okay, let's try that again here. Okay. Um, So when it comes to the frying pan, I mean it's been used, as a melee weapon before, whether or not you're a hero or you've seen them with a villain before. So I mean um, so it's not rare. Okay, so to see the frying pan now. Um, and while I could kind of poke some fun at that, um, I haven't really seen the spork be used for as a melee weapon that often. Um, or at least I haven't seen too many that actually. Um, I haven't seen too many games that have the spork as a weapon. Obviously, there are some that do. Um, let's see, what was the one game that kind of comes to mind for for the spork? What was it? I think it was, what was it? Dragon Quest, I think? Or maybe, I'm thinking of one of the old RPG games, and I believe one of the characters in there, which was a fish chef. He had a spork as his weapon. Oh, it's been a long time since I played the game, so I'm not remembering it off the top of my head. But I think that was uh, I forget the name of the game and the um, name of the um, person that was using it. Um, so I mean, it's not as rare either, um, but I'm going to need to figure out whether or not I want to use either one of them to fight off the goblins. But I've run out of time, folks. I'm going to go ahead and close things down here. I do these streams daily from 2 to 6 p.m. So it has hit 6 p.m. for me, so I need to go ahead and close things down. Um, but we're going to go ahead and pick this back up next week. We're going to look into finishing off our art assets for the weapons. Uh, finish off the book for the ghouls. Create the proton pack kind of weapon for the ghosts, and then we'll figure out. Maybe I'll throw up a poll on my Twitter account or something like that, saying, "Hey, what would you like to see as a weapon against goblins? A frying pan or a spork?" I don't know if I'll get any kind of answers to that, but um, it'd be it would be interesting to see um, what if anyone actually sees the poll and what they would, what they would kind of like to see. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's where we're gonna go ahead and end it for now. So all these videos that I do, all these streams that I do, are uploaded to my YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out if you'd like. I have a link down below to my YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out. I also have links to my Discord, my Patreon, and my Twitter account down below as well. So if you're interested in any of those, feel free to check those out. Um, we have a schedule of what I do during the week, the games that I play, as well as this coding stream that I do every Sunday. So if you're interested in any of that, check out my schedule, see what I'm currently doing on what day. Um, and of course, there's information showing you when I stream, which is the 2 to 6, obviously. So that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow will be my Warframe gameplay, so feel free to stop on by tomorrow if you're interested in Warframe. We're going to be continuing our grind for some more platinum so we can get some more space for our Warframes, the loadouts, the Warframes themselves, and the like. That will be on Monday and Tuesday, and then of course on Wednesday is my World of Warships gameplay, so feel free to stop on by and check that out if you'd like as well. A side note on that World of Warships gameplay, though, I haven't been able to figure out a better method for speeding up my internet connection at this time. So I'm still probably going to be playing AI battles on that. So just a word of warning. So, but that's going to be it for tonight. So thank you very much for watching there, folks. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll catch you next time. I want to give a shout out to Otev Plays for stopping on by, as well as Mono Twitch. Yeah. Thanks for stopping on by. I appreciate when you guys do that. Hopefully I'll see you next time. So, but with that, I'm going to say good night. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'll see you strangers next time.